Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings broadcasting live Apple Valley, People's Republic of California.
And we're talking about a pretty important subject today. Science and technology, but this kind of hits close to home.
To follow up on our Saturday, we talked about hypertension, and we saw an article that said two things to help cut hypertension were to get rid of alcohol drinks. In fact, like the United States recommends, not the United States, whatever organization, recommends cut it to 2 drinks a day, but we say cut it out altogether.
Well, and then, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. And
that's probably the next largest industry in the country, next to
tobacco. No,
yeah, I don't think tobacco's that big anymore, but alcohol, beer, and wine, and
next to
marijuana
are
then. Just huge. Yeah, maybe next to marijuana.
And also to reduce your salt intake, which I will not do. Salt makes everything taste better.
It does, yeah. It's like butter. Can you have enough?
Like milk.
You cannot have enough. You cannot have enough milk.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Sister on Sunday gave me some fig jam.
Fig jam?
Oh, yeah. She made jam out of the figs that she grows on her trees. Oh, my gosh. It was so delicious. I toasted a bagel and put it on there. Oh.
Do you eat fig Newtons?
No. Well, I did as a kid, but once I tried a fig in Iraq. Walking up to some landowner, and there was a fig tree there, and I said, "Are those figs?" And he said, "Yeah." Can I try one? And he let me try one. It was delicious.
Just right off the tree.
Right off the tree.
Oh,
yeah, in Iraq.
Is it a tree or a bush?
It's a tree.
Fig tree.
It's a tree. I got a fig tree in the front yard. It's just a little baby, though.
I never was a big fan of the fig Newton. I ate apple Newtons. I loved apple Newtons. I still do. Actually, should buy some of those. Anyway,
here we go. A massive quake in Myanmar revealed the Sagaing Fault can rupture far beyond expectations. Caltech scientists using cutting-edge satellite imaging showed the fault slipped over 500 kilometers. That is crazy.
That's a long way.
So, like, if the fault across a 500 kilometer span moved, or it moved. No, I can't. It couldn't have been moved.
Did it slip vertically or horizontally?
500 kilometers. No,
either way,
we'd know that.
Yeah,
I mean, vertically, we'd know that. Reshaping our understanding of earthquake cycles. The study warns that faults like the San Andreas here in the People's Republic of California,
within 25 miles from here,
could also produce unprecedented, unpredictable quakes. Would you like to know more?
On March 28, 2025, a magnitude 7.7 earthquake, pretty good size, struck Myanmar along the Sagaing Fault, leaving thousands dead and causing massive destruction across the region. Now, I don't remember hearing about that, but maybe
it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
5 months ago.
Yeah. Researchers at Caltech have now examined this event in detail using satellite imagery to track how the fault moved. Their findings suggest that strike-slip faults such as the Sagaing and California's San Andreas are capable of producing quakes that are not only unlike those recorded in the past, but may also reach even greater magnitudes. And we do hear that all the time, right? San Andreas, let's go. You know, the big misnomer. It's not a misnomer, but the big prediction is California's going to
go into the sea.
Yeah, and
that would be the People's Republic, and then we go back to California, the state of California.
Right. So all beachfront property, LA, Inland Empire, Los Angeles. Yeah, that would just.
And San Francisco too, right?
I don't know if I guess it depends on where the San Andreas Fault goes. Yeah. I know it goes all the way. I think it goes quite a ways up the state.
It goes to Fort Ord, which is in the middle. Because I've stood in the San Andreas Fault at Fort Ord.
Well, you've driven over the San Andreas Fault every time you go down to Inland Empire. So
can you say you've stood in it?
I've never stood in it, no. But that's cool.
At old Fort Ord near Monterey.
So do they have the same kind of stuff going on up there? They said, hey, if the San Andreas Fault goes, San Francisco's out to lunch, which
I'm not saying I hope that happens. I'm not saying that, but it's a possibility.
We definitely don't want that to happen. So
but I don't think it will, because we got a temple in Santa Monica. I don't think that's going underwater. I don't think so.
I don't know, maybe but it's if a fault happened to that magnitude, I don't think we would have much of a chance up here. Not only that, we'd be cut off from our supply chain, really.
Well,
but it would be devastating.
Vegas would
here.
have to. Then they'd have to fly stuff in,
Yeah.
to Edwards or something. Or
Yeah, it would
March.
be. That would just be crazy. That would be totally devastating.
So we could
Like
stood up.
biblical proportion, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So
The work was led in the laboratory of Jean-Philippe Avouac, the Earl C. Anthony Professor of Geology and Mechanical and Civil Engineering, and Director of the Center for Geomechanics and the Mitigation of Geohazards. The paper, published August 11, 2025, in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, lists postdoctoral scholar Solène Antoine as its lead author. They sound Frenchy. Sounds French.
Yeah, maybe French Canadian or definitely French. The Sagaing Fault cuts through Myanmar in a mostly straight north-south line. Over time, its two sides grind slowly in opposite directions, building stress along the boundary. When that stress finally overcomes resistance, the fault slips suddenly, releasing energy as an earthquake. Because both the Sagaing and the San Andreas faults are long, relatively straight strike-slip systems stretching hundreds of kilometers, the Myanmar quake offers important clues about what could one day happen in California.
Quote, this earthquake turned out to be an ideal case to apply image correlation methods, techniques to compare images before and after a geological event, that were developed by our research group, Antoine says. These allow us to measure ground displacements at the fault, where the alternative method, radar interferometry, is blind due to phenomenon like decorrelation, a process to decouple signals, and limited sensitivity to north-south displacements. That sounded really technical. I'm sure they know what it means.
I hope so, because I have absolutely no idea.
We're the messengers.
Yeah. Based on studies of historic earthquakes along the Sagaing Fault, researchers anticipated that a large earthquake would occur on a 300-kilometer section where no large earthquakes had occurred since 1839. This theory is known as the seismic gap hypothesis. Stuck sections of a fault where there has not been movement are expected to slip to catch up.
Yeah, boom, it just goes.
All of a sudden it just goes like break of a rope or a chain or something.
Exactly.
While this section did indeed rupture during the 2025 quake, the fault actually slipped along a total of more than 500 kilometers, indicating that the fault did indeed make up the deficit of slip and more.
Okay, so that's 500 horizontal along 500.
That's a big gap.
That is.
I mean, that's a canyon now, right? 500 kilometers?
No, not wide. No, 500 kilometers where the faults are. Those slipped a little bit along 500 kilometers.
Yeah. Okay.
So
they didn't tell us how far it slipped. That would be interesting to know, right?
But if it's like that snap, like you were saying, like a rope, that could be 7.7.
Yeah, because we had that earthquake out here. They called it the Landers quake, and it actually separated. Have you ever driven over on Highway 247, like from Lucerne to Yucca Valley? Maybe they have. And that road actually moved. I mean, it lowered and it shifted.
It didn't crack the asphalt?
Oh yeah. That road was shut down for months until they got it taken care of. Yeah, you had to go around. You had to go down like the 10 and then come up. If you wanted to go to Yucca Valley or Morongo, you had to come up whatever that road is from right there just before you below Whitewater. But anyway, we're getting in. But it was pretty devastating. So I remember seeing pictures of it. We could probably still pull them up, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
In the new study, the team used correlation of satellite optical and radar imagery of the fault, a technique originally developed in the Avouac laboratory and now widely used in seismology, and its surroundings to determine that the 500-kilometer section shifted a net of 3 meters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's 21 feet after the quake. That is, the eastern side moved about south by 3 meters relative to the western side. Wow.
9 feet, right? About 9 feet.
No, sorry, 9. I said 21.
That's still a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
I mean, that could swallow up a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Current models used for seismic hazard assessment are mostly based on earthquake statistics and are time independent, meaning they can only give probabilities of an earthquake during a chosen time span. For example, these models might estimate for any given 30-year period and particular area the probability that an earthquake would exceed a chosen magnitude.
However, in order to make truly informed estimates of potential seismic hazards for a specific time period, say the next 30 years, it's crucial for models to take into account how recently a fault has slipped, where the slip occurred, and by how much. Quote, the study shows that future earthquakes might not simply repeat past known earthquakes, Avwak says. Successive ruptures of a given fault, even as simple as the Sagaing or the San Andreas faults, can be very different and can release even more than the deficit of the slip since the last event. In addition, historical records are generally far too short for statistical models to represent the full range of possible quakes and eventual patterns in earthquake recurrence.
Physics-based models provide an alternative approach with the advantage that they could in principle, be tuned to observations and used for time-independent forecasts. The paper is titled The 2025 MW 7.7 Mandalay, Myanmar Earthquake reveals complex earthquake cycle with clustering and variable segmentation on Sagaing Fault.
Yeah, so I guess that was a little caveat at the end, like a meteorologist, we can only predict to uncertainty, with very little certainty.
Right.
30-year span, that's a long time.
But for those who travel the 15 freeway, be it on a weekend or every day for work, you're traveling across that fault every day, one way or the other, or both ways. And it's amazing what they've been able to do during that construction of that freeway to cushion the blows or whatever. Take care of the flexing and the shifting and stuff, because it's happening. It happens all the time, whether we feel it or not. It's moving, I think. So I don't know. Beware.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.